Hi, I'm Marianne.
And I'm Michael. Today we're going to tell you the ins and outs of staplers. Here you've got one that's very labor intensive.
A hand stapler. I think of this one as the one you staple posters up with.
Exactly. And if you'll notice your hand, how it fits on there, it's made for a bigger hand. Takes a lot of pressure.
I'd have to use both hands.
You would.
That one's really tough to use. I'm not sure I could do a project with this. I could do posters.
Yeah.
Maybe not a project. And then you've got an electric.
The biggest thing about electric stapler is the cord itself. Try to keep the cord short and heavy duty.
I've even seen some, Michael, that only have a cord that's about this long, which is irritating because you still have to add an extension cord to it. But your extension cord needs to be very heavy duty and shorter, not longer.
Right. And here's an air stapler. Now the air stapler, it's probably the simplest to use. It takes less effort. It's the fastest.
But it's also a little more expensive than the other tools because going along with that stapler, you need an air compressor. But what we found when we searched this product on some different companies that provide tools like this, you can buy a small air compressor that comes with the stapler.
I was surprised.
I was surprised. And the cost of it was relatively low, which was wonderful to see. So we've got the three tools. But what we also want to talk about is the type of staples that you'd use.
Right. On the hand stapler and the electric stapler, they have like a chisel point type of staple. It's got a very jagged, pointed staple to it. It's wider in thickness. So
these are called a wide crown then?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do real well in a soft wood. Compare the fine wire air staplers. They've got a real fine wire. They come in a bigger assortment of sizes.
Wow.
3/16.
That's really, really short. But now those are for doing
like
small.
Like the arm panels on the front of a chair or sofa.
Okay.
Where if you used a lug or what, you'd poke right through.
I've done that actually. So.
I'd say your standard for doing any of the projects is 3/8.
Okay.
Even with any of the staplers.
We seem to go through boxes of those, so those must be the most popular ones. But now you've got these really long ones. How long are these?
They're 9/16. Now, two things to look at here is with the longer leg, if you were putting webbing on the bottom of the chair, you'd need that for the holding power.
Oh, okay.
But if you have a lot of bulk, then you'd need that too. So it comes in handy for a couple different things.
One other thing about these two products that we're talking about, because the hand stapler for our projects probably won't work as well. These two staplers have different noses on them, and one has a very long nose for getting into crevices and corners. The other electric staplers, some you can buy, actually have a little short nose.
And the nose might be a 1/2 inch long. I mean, it helps a little.
It helps, but it's not quite as long as these are. Now, let's take a look at using basically all three tools in a couple of different type of projects. Since we're showing you three different tools, we thought we'd use 3 pieces of wood to sample each one of the tools.
Here we've got plywood, which on some of the staplers is a little more difficult to get into. Here's a soft pine, and this is actually a sample of maple like your furniture would be built out of.
Perfect.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to try this hand stapler, and I haven't used one of these before. Press hard on the head, and
ooh, I saw a muscle ripple. Or I think it was a muscle.
Well, the muscle rippled right into the staple because the staple's even. That's a little bit better.
That's better. That's better. But see, it didn't go in all the way. It's not flush.
No.
It takes a lot of effort because not only are you squeezing, you're putting the pressure down.
And you know, as I squeeze this handle, one of the things that I recognize is if I had to put 50 staples into one project, I think I'd have a cramp in my hand. Now, this electric, though,
a little easier.
A little easier, but that one still jumped on me a little. It doesn't like the plywood very much.
No. Plywood has a lot of glue and resins in it, so it is pretty difficult to shoot through.
Tough.
Try this.
Now, but this one of the things that you could do is, if you have problems like that, you're going to have to pull those staples out and redo whatever staples you put into your project. But now this one, oh, that's so easy.
Yeah. Yeah. See, with the air gun, it's just. Woo, I like that.
Well, what happens is the tool's actually doing all of the work, and all you're doing is pressing the trigger. Where with these other ones, you are applying a lot of pressure to push the head down to help the staple get into the wood. Now,
think about that for a minute. When you're upholstering and you're pulling fabric down and you're trying to get it smooth and in place, and now you have to fight a stapler to actually get the staple in, where the air, it allows you to get your fabric into place, and it's very easy to operate. Bang, it's done.
Yep, because you're holding with the other hand. I didn't even think about that.
Let's try a softwood.
On pine, which is typically what you're going to use if you're going to do a garage sale and you're going to put up a sign for posters. This one works. It went in really easy. Now, this electric will probably do the same thing.
About the same.
Well, and I didn't push very hard on the head. Now, if I push harder on the head, I'm flush.
Still about
pretty
the
good.
same.
Yeah. But now this one,
now that's sunk it into the wood.
Sunk it
now
right
that's
in.
the one thing with air you have to realize. If you have a really soft wood, you want to turn the air pressure down.
Oh, so it doesn't go.
So it doesn't, because you can shoot it right through your fabric.
That's just what I was going to ask. Okay, but now you've got this piece of maple, and maple is a very hard
Well, it's
wood.
what most of our furniture is made out of. Maple, some of it's oak, but it's a harder wood. Now let's try that hand stapler on that maple.
You're saying that like you know I'm not even going to be able to do this.
Oh, what your muscles. Actually, that's not bad.
That's not bad. I didn't think it would even go in that well. I'm building muscles as we go.
Boy, I tell you.
That one did too. Not bad.
Try the air.
Yep.
It's even fun to use, too.
You know, well, and the thing is, I'm not even hardly touching the top of it, and I'm not even pressing. Now, the other thing we talked about was the nose on this stapler.
If you'll notice, there's a groove in this piece here. This is to show people what a single welt channel would be like.
So on the arm of a chair, if it's going into where the decorative wood is, you'd have a channel.
So this would be like the decorative wood of the chair. Notice something with this air stapler, how the nose fits right into the groove.
Perfect.
You know, and so you're not only pushing the fabric down, you're seating that fabric down in the groove. Where if you took any of the other staplers, you're flush with the wood.
Well, and now
actually you're not even over the...
No, you're not down into the groove at all. That staple would be sticking up really pretty even with this based on how we saw it go into this wood.
So, talk about your tool triangle.
Well, 3 different tools. We have the least expensive, the middle of the road, the most expensive, but we also have the most difficult to use, the middle of the road,
most versatile,
and the easiest.
Yep.
Take your choice.
As a safety note, you should be wearing safety glasses when you're doing the electric or the air staplers. And of course, these pretty ones are the unibrow type.